Right, everybody. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS, the Shout Out Show. You know where you are, and I know where you are. You are here with me. First of all, let me get a shout out. First of all, anybody who's coming on the show for the first time, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for making time in your day, and we hope that we can give you an excellent experience, if you will. When I say excellent experience, we want to give you a compelling reason to come back and check out the show. That's number one. Number two, brothers and sisters, is this one. For those that come on the Shout Out Show, I want you to understand what that process is. People dedicate time to come from, let's say, 5:30 or 5 o'clock to 5:30, depending where you are, Central, or 6 o'clock to 6:30, and they come and they tune in, and we have this family atmosphere, and we're able to talk about a number of things. Some of them are controversial, some of them are a little loose, some of them are just funny, loose, and even sometimes silly. I think we have gotten to the point as a show every once in a while we can engage something that's not so heavy. And today is one of those days, but it is embracing something heavy, but it's not something to get you down, if you will. Now, before I even start today, our topic is respect to protest songs. We're having a lot of protests here. I don't know if anybody saw the little video I put on Instagram. Well, I talked about what happened to the protest songs. What are some of your favorite protest songs? The things that were clear, musical, rhythmic calls to action for you. Before I get into that, I want to give a shout out. We start with a bit of a heavy heart. As a jazz lover, wannabe musician back in the day, we lost a cultural icon today in the music community. Brother Ronald Bell, Khalees Bayan of Kool in the Gang passed away earlier today. And so we want to make sure that we send out prayers and condolences to his family. Because when we're talking about protest songs and songs that mark aspects of your life, Kool in the Gang was really one of those songs. They're talking 30 gold and platinum albums over a career, Hall of Fame. You know that songs, Hollywood Swinging It, funky stuff. I mean, we grew up to that. Now, if people don't know some of the songs that I'm talking about, it's okay. That's why they have iTunes. You can go back and you can understand the greatness that came out of the 60s and 70s. Now, before we get into this thing about respecting protest songs, I want to frame the whole idea of protests. Protests in music. Protests in songwriting, protests and anthems, if you will. One of the things we don't have right now is an anthem. Something that marks what's going on here right now. Now, I've been privy to a number of them. I was a child of the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, up into my adulthood. I've had the opportunity to partake not only in hearing anthems break for the first time, but be able to play them for other people years after the creators have gone on. You know, one of the greatest protest songs that ever came out was a song by James Brown. And the song was called Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Let me say it again. The song was called Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. And this was a landmark moment for Black America because at that point in time, if you said black, that was even worse than calling somebody the N-word back in the day. You might get whooped on. If you call somebody black. And it was the upstanding ideology of co-opting what had been put out as negative, and now not only saying that it's black and it's beautiful. They came together, brothers and sisters, black and beautiful. And this song about economically uplift, this song about moral uplift, this song about communal uplift was an amazing feat back in the days because let's talk about, brothers and sisters, back in the day, people were not vibing to that type of stuff. You know, James Brown had phases of his career. Just like Michael Jackson, but James Brown had phases of his career. And James Brown grew up at a time where the music industry did not make a way for his music. He had to knock the door down. And you would think you're going to get through the door and you're going to produce this sound, this funky sound, but now I want to put these unbelievable lyrics to it about standing on your own 2 feet, about self-determinism. Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud was, for me as a child when I heard it, I didn't even know what black and proud meant. I knew what black meant. I didn't know what proud meant, but I'm just talking about the musicality and the songwriting and the idea behind black, proud, say it. I'm here to tell you, it totally uplifted not just children like me, men, women, black. It actually changed the dynamic of how people approach African American life, because we were saying something at this point in time that we're going to do it ourselves. So Say It Loud, Black and I'm Proud was one of my favorites. Another one, and I think he gets overlooked. Curtis Mayfield put out a string of conscious records. He did the soundtrack for a movie called Superfly, and Superfly was it's a black exploitation film about a pimp and all this type of stuff. He came out with a song called Freddie's Dead. Now, Freddie's Dead was not a protest song, but I'm going to tell you what was amazing about Freddie's Dead was the fact that it told the idea of Freddie's addiction. It was the first anti-drug song that really ever came out. James Brown did one about King Heroin, but Freddie's Dead had something to it whereby it wasn't preachy, but it was a storytelling moment that cleared a whole lot of gray area about the use of drugs and the damage of drugs in the neighborhood in the black community. Now, if we move forward, another great song, protest song, has to be from Curtis Mayfield, People Get Ready. People Get Ready was the soundtrack for the civil rights movement. In fact, when you watch a lot of stuff about the civil rights movement, Eyes on the Prize, you might not even hear it in the documentary, but you hear it in your mind. It's one of those songs that haunts you because it's a spiritual mandate, if you will, that above the problems that they were dealing with in the 50s and particularly in the 60s in the civil rights movement, it was a mandate. And the tune was, people get ready, there's a train a-coming. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. And that train, brothers and sisters, it didn't care whether you're black or white, rich or poor, it worried about if you were righteous. If you could see in the world that there was a problem and address it appropriately. One of the most masterful songs ever done. The other one from Curtis Mayfield has to be Move On Up. Now, I'm throwing out some songs here. If you've never heard of these songs, I need you to write them down. Write them down. Curtis Mayfield, People Get Ready. People Get Ready and Move On Up are two of the. In fact, Kanye West sampled Move On Up, as a matter of fact. And it was such an uplifting idea about, wait for it, about potential. About potential above everything. Now I'm talking this way, brothers and sisters, because I have a lecture to give. Of course, I'm not giving it in person, but I'm giving a lecture to young students at University of Richmond. And they want to know about Black Lives Matter. And it's interesting because, we have this generational gap about why Black Lives Matter. There's a young edition, there's a youth edition of the explanation, and there's an elderly OG explanation of the situation. It's going to be interesting if I can pull this off in an hour's time. But the idea that we had things that were so powerful in our society that we could put them in music and it would galvanize us. You see, before that time, what African Americans had to hold on to was gospel. It was gospel and it was blues. Gospel and blues, a little bit of jazz. gospel, blues, a little bit of jazz. Oh, and I almost forgot one of the most amazing pieces of music. It wasn't even vocals. It was instrumental. It was John Coltrane's Alabama. He came up with the song Alabama after the bombing of a Birmingham church and 4 little black girls were killed. If you hear that song and listen to it, it is just a pronounced heartthrob about what has happened to the world where these little girls could be killed. It haunts you. It absolutely haunts you. And it's supposed to, because there's some things that we can think about. It wasn't an anthem, but it did have validity. I'm not going to say it's a protest song, but I'll even give it to Prince when Prince did Sign of the Times. Okay, all right, we got in from Umar. All right, F the police. Okay, all right, I don't know if that's a call to action. Fight the Power is going to get to. Yep, Charles White, I was going to get to that. Change going to come. I got to get the change going to come. That's in my top 3 right there. So I'm going to kick off a minute. Hold on a minute. Everybody's my main man, Umar. You saw him on the show. We're going to have Umar back in Charlotte very soon. Sister Reed is back on the show. Reed, I owe you guys dinner tomorrow, so call me. We didn't connect today. I owe you guys dinner tomorrow. Fabulous cook. So let me give you one of my favorite ones, and I will, and Umar already tipped it off. Sam Cooke singing "A Change Is Gonna Come" is hands down, I think it's the best ever protest song. I'm talking about the arrangements, from the cascading of the strings to the timpani to the rollout, boom, plus his voice. I don't know where Sam Cooke got this voice from. I know he's a gospel singer. He used to sing with the Soul Stirrers. One of his best songs, if you ever get a chance to hear Sam Cooke and the Soul Stirrers, brothers and sisters, I'm going to ask that you actually check out him singing a song called "Touch the Hem of His Garment." It's a song about Jesus as he's going through and a woman in town who's tried every remedy to get well. She's been sickly, nothing's worked. And her whole thing is, I could get well if I could just touch the hem of his garment. People, it is a musical masterpiece. It's a musical masterpiece. Now, we have some folks on here. Fight the Power, brothers and sisters, is without a doubt one of the classic. Here's the amazing part of it. It actually names the year. So when you go back and listen to Fight the Power, you'll actually realize that it happened 1989, the number, Another Summer, Sound of the Funky Drummer. People, they tried to re-release that song with Chuck D, with Black Thought, I think Nas, 2 other artists, and it just didn't have it. It just didn't have it. That time, that space will be totally encapsulated in that song. 1989 was a year after I graduated from college, and we had that feeling. That was a feeling, brothers and sisters, and I'm gonna expand on this. But that was a feeling when the youth, hear me now, when the youth were creating songs that mattered, songs that had call to action. I have been sitting around this whole time, all this protest, all this COVID. I have not heard one protest song. I've heard people try to redo protest songs, but I haven't heard one. I've been waiting. And I'm saying to myself, how come we don't have the big protest song? How we don't, and it hit me. From the time that those artists put out songs, social things about social awareness, social consciousness, and things like that, that the music industry changed. The music industry changed. You see, Brother Umar told you guys about Fight the Power, but I remember Welcome to the Terror Dome, Burn Hollywood Burn, about the lack of black representation in Hollywood films. I mean, it was an era. And I have been looking around. Maybe I haven't been looking in the right place. I've been looking around. I'm like, where is that type of consciousness? Where the kids, brothers and sisters, the kids recognize that there's something wrong and galvanize, not behind these organizations and slogans. I'm talking about in your own neighborhood. Because the good thing about Fight the Power, the good thing about Change Gonna Come, the good thing about Curtis Mayfield, Peace Train, People Get Ready, whatever. The good thing about that was that the youth were recognizing A, their voice, B, their power, and C, their responsibility. Now I'm gonna mess Umar up. Umar, you listening? I'm gonna mess you up because you left one out, brother. You got F the Police by NWA. I kind of go with that. Now, Express Yourself was underrated. Yes. This is America is new. I'm getting ready to I'm gonna mess Ree up. I'm gonna mess Umar up. I'm gonna mess all of y'all up. You ready? Are you ready? Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Remember that? Huh? Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Yes, brothers and sisters. I held that one in the bag. Self-destruction. If you want to hear the rap game on top of its game, please go listen to Self-Destruction. I'm going to tell you why. Because it was a coalition of young voices and young artists that said, wait a minute, one of our own has died. It all frames from the group Boogie Down Productions with KRS-One and his partner, Scott LaRock. Scott LaRock was murdered breaking up a fight. He was a social worker. He was murdered breaking up a fight. And he was the first martyr, if you will. The first martyr, if you will, for hip-hop. Now, Omar just trying to, you showing off today. I'm going to give this one right here. This one right here, this was, okay. This is the only thing that could usurp self-destruction, brothers and sisters. Melly Mel and, what's his name? Melly Mel, Grandmaster Flash. I'm trying to remember the other guy that rapped on that record. But brothers and sisters, it was the message. My mother, for the record, hated the message. She hated the message. She felt like it brought us back to a space that we didn't want to be. And I understand that. But here's the space, though. For young minds, it reminded me that even though I was in D.C., we were in the suburbs, it reminded me that there were people that looked like me, the people I went to school with that were struggling with these things. So the kids that got bused to school, when they went back to their spots, they struggled with these things. And the lyrics, brothers and sisters, the lyrics can't be overlooked. Melly Mel is actually a friend of mine. Very cool dude. I met him in Toronto, I think 2007. And we lost touch for a while, but Melly Mel is he was actually the first solo MC, like the first solo MC. Yeah, Furious 5. I got y'all. So we're talking about protest songs. For the rap game, we got Self-Destruction. We got The Message. You had the West Coast. You had the West Coast joint too. People Get Ready. That's right. Curtis Mayfield. Freddie's Dead, I put it in because Freddie's Dead was one of the first anthems about heroin use, that junkie life. We got Sam Cooke. Oh, I got one. It may not be an anthem to you, but it was Duke Ellington and Mahalia Jackson, the Black and Brown album, her singing Come Sunday. There it is. Her singing Come Sunday, there it is. I'm gonna call out all of you: Mikkel, Satana, Umar, Reed, anybody else out there. Go listen to Mahalia Jackson sing "Come Sunday" with Duke Ellington. And if that doesn't move your soul, because they were talking about race back then, the Black and Brown album, they were talking about race back then, and for her to sing that song is amazing. It is awe-inspiring. This is before Sam Cooke. In fact, I think that Sam Cooke also did that. Oh, we got some winners. We got some winners. I was about to get to Marvin Gaye. I know which one you probably going to go with. What's going on? I love Marvin Gaye. What's going on? What's Happening, Brother was probably the most underrated song he did right after What's Going On. Umar, you got to look that up, man. I did a whole 2-part series on the spiritual implications of Marvin Gaye's album, What's Going On. Bob Marley he's just across the board. His whole life was just protest song. You know, Trench Town, if anybody's West End and you know what Trench Town is, he put a whole lot of things into perspective for me as a young guy. That was the one. And Gil Scott-Heron, Satana, yes. The revolution will not be televised. Pure anthem. Pure anthem. And I am happy to say I got to work with Gil Scott-Heron back in the day. Yes, I'm not bragging. I got to work with him. I opened for him on a Super Bowl Sunday in Milwaukee. In fact, he was the person I sold my first joke to Gil Scott-Heron. And it was a funny joke, but he messed it up on stage. It doesn't matter. It was Gil Scott-Heron. I was happy. He could have not told the joke. So Umar, so Satana, so everybody on the thing. Now I'm getting ready to mess you guys up. Pardon my language. Pardon my language. It's the name of the song. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all are not, you're not ready. Get up, stand up. Yes, yes. But Umar, you're not ready, man. I'm getting ready to put one on you, brother. I'm getting ready to put one on you. Everybody's watching the show. I'm getting ready to put one on you. Here you go. You ready? Yeah, you ready? I don't think you have it. I don't think you're ready, man. I really don't think that you're ready, but I'm gonna give it to you anyway. Ooh, feel the tension? Yeah, that's what this song did for you. A little tension. The Last Poets. Niggas are scared of revolution. Woo! Woo! All right. What's going on, Brother Levi? Thank you for coming on. And I appreciate your help. Sister Ika, all the way from Indonesia. If you got any protest songs from Indonesia, let us know. Stevie Wonder, Living for the City. Yes, yes. A Child is Born in Hard Time, Mississippi. Yeah, okay. It made me never want to take a bag from somebody I didn't know. Yeah, but the breakdown after that is just, it's a mind-blowing song. Okay. I just gave you guys The Last Poets. And you could take any album off The Last Poets. I said it, Niggas Are Scared of Revolution is a masterpiece. I watched them do it live. I got to open for them too. And I'm going to tell y'all something. I rarely open for somebody where I'm just absolutely in awe. But the precision and the conversation that they had about how they came to that song is mind-blowing. Because the reason they did that song is because they wanted to disempower the word, the N-word. Not like people know, I'm appropriating. You're not appropriating anything. You're appropriating a lie. You're lying to me. You don't know what you're talking about. These gentlemen figured it out and gave it to you. I mean, Umar, Dead Prez, yeah, I'll give it to you, Dead Prez. But Dead Prez is spitting Last Poets. They're spitting the Last Poets. I'm telling you, they are spitting the Last Poets. So look, I can't stay too long today because I have to give a lecture and I have to check in for my lecture. But I think we're going to bring this thing back. There are a couple of songs that I left off. Okay. All right. There you go. John Lennon, Give Peace a Chance. That is a great song. I'm surprised I didn't get any Michael Jackson songs. I know Prince, Sign of the Times, was a beast. But Michael Jackson's song, Man in the Mirror. Woo! I don't know who wrote that. He wrote that. That's a banger though. Man in the Mirror. Okay? So what's our rundown? We got rap, we got the message, we got Fight the Power, we got Self-Destruction. You got to give the West Coast response to that. That was actually pretty good. The West Coast brothers came together. I really like that. Tupac was one. I Ain't Mad at You. There was a lot of levels to that. So Tana, what you got? They don't really care about us. Yeah, that you play that right now. In fact, I think Quincy Jones did a remix of that. No. I'm sorry. Spike Lee redid the video a couple years ago, where Michael Jackson was down in Brazil filming in the favelas, like the high. That's like the project. If you take any project in the United States and multiply it by 18, that's where he was. Beat It by Michael Jackson, not an anthem though. That wasn't a protest song. That was a song, Umar. That one, I can't give that one. I'll give a couple of them, but I can't give it. Let me give a shout out. Miss Eleanor is on the spot too. So listen, I said something about why there aren't any protest songs anymore. And it's not about the kids or things like that. It's like we live in a generation where we don't give out the information like we used to. The generation gaps that are there naturally and the ones that are, for lack of a better word, forged. We don't talk to our youth, and as a result, for some regards, we don't introduce them to this music. I was spoiled, to pray for our brother Khalees Bayan from Kool and the Gang that passed away. You know what he said? His father had access to Miles Davis. He said he loved jazz. He loved Coltrane. And he produced music that we remember, just like Coltrane members. But, he said something that's really, really important, man. He was just the fact that there was a responsibility, a fiduciary responsibility to make sure the music got out, the process of how music got out, and the importance of being able to have expression. So let me give a shout out. My mom, okay, there you go, Stevie Wonder. Oh, happy birthday to you. I'll give that. Yeah, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday by, I wonder why people play happy birthday, like normally, like for somebody's birthday. I'm like, that song ain't really about you, but I guess people got to do what they got to do. Yeah. So listen, everybody, I got to pop off. This is a short show. It's a good show. This is a short show, but it's an excellent show. And I just kind of want everybody to kind of kick back a little bit. I'm going to give a little homework assignment, if you will. Some of the people that we talked about, I'll go listen to the music. If you have a little time, maybe go listen to Mahalia Jackson sing Come Sunday and see if that doesn't do something to your soul. Or listen to a little Marvin Gaye. Or you know what? Reach out for a little Curtis Mayfield. If you're really, really old school, you might find a recording of Farrakhan singing White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell. That was a good song, by the way. Very clever. Extremely clever. I suggest you check it out. And all the other artists that I mentioned, if I left out some people, brothers and sisters, it was not intentional. We only got a half hour, and I do what I can. But in that half hour, I have thoroughly enjoyed myself with my Shout Out Show family, my Shout Out Show soldiers. And you know what? Keep those little protest songs in your heart. Keep that little fire going. And when you see a young person, share it with them. Tell them, come on over here and listen to this music. I got something for you. You never heard this before. And see how things change. Brothers and sisters, I got to bounce. You guys have been amazing. Take care of yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Talk to you soon. Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your Shout Out Show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next Shout Out Show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarifa Tar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifatar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.